Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and as always, I'm here with my husband, Noel. He is over there doing our cameras, running our graphics. And good morning. Hello, Joanna, Southern Charm. Barbara, how is everybody? I am finally okay. I am back to the world of the living. Thank you all for joining today on an off day. Normally, we were here yesterday, but had to reschedule. So a couple of you reached out and kind of already heard what happened, but I'll give you all the news. Not that it's all that great. Chamuto, good morning. So basically, late Monday night, I started with having a migraine. Normal. I've had migraines since I was a teenager. If any of you have migraines, you know how it is. And normally I take some migraine meds, take some Tylenol. I'm good to go within a few hours, or at least by the next morning. Well, that wasn't the case. All day Tuesday, I didn't even get out of bed on Tuesday. It was so bad. And then all night. And then Wednesday morning, I woke up and I'm like, I can't even talk. I can't even form a sentence. There was no way I'm going to be able to do this show. And finally, about midday yesterday, I looked at my husband and I said, you need to take me to the hospital because this isn't going away. So I ended up in the ER. I'm totally okay. They have, y'all, just a shout out to any doctors, nurses, medical people out there. Y'all are the best. They have what they call a migraine cocktail, which is a whole bunch of stuff they stick in an IV. Good morning, Reclaim Vintage. And in about 2 hours, I felt like I was good as new. So that's where we're at. Anyways, came home. And then if any of you ever have migraines, hello, Swamp Chick Boutique. You know, after a migraine, you get what I call the migraine hangover. It literally feels like you are hungover. Do you get those 2 times a month? Oh my God, why don't they just put that in a pill form so that we don't have to go to the ER? This is the first time I've been to the ER for a migraine since I was a teenager. So this is not a common thing for me at all. The headaches are, but I can handle those. But going to the ER isn't. The migraine hangover after a migraine, while you feel yourself, you also are extremely tired and feel like you have a hangover. So I ended up coming home and sleeping yesterday, but I am good to go today. Feel like brand new this morning. They are, aren't they, Tramelto? Oh, so if you guys messaged me, I have a few messages I know I need to reply to, or emailed or called me. I am so sorry. I am getting back to everybody today. I have just been out of commission. I've literally not gotten out of bed except for the ER for 3 days. Good morning, Aaron. Yeah, normally it's not super, super bad. Like I said, normally I've dealt with this my whole life, but I don't know what it was this time. Oh, yes. And getting it every 3 weeks. Wow. So you get it bad. Yeah, I feel for you. Thankfully, I mean, I'm not at that point. This was a very rare occurrence, but I did feel terrible. I called out on my 9-to-5 job, for 2 days in a row. And it looked so bad because we have the holiday on Monday, and then Tuesday morning I'm messaging my boss. I'm like, I'm really sick. I can't come, can't get online today. Which looks so bad. It just looks like you're trying to get another day after the holiday, right? And then I did it again on Wednesday. I'm still sick, going to the doctor today. So I have to get back to my job and get caught up on everything that I was missed in the last 2 days. But we are here. We've got some stuff to sell. As usual, shipping is $4.50. There's items in the auction tab. I already see a bunch of pre-bids, so thank you. We'll get over to that in a little while. However, because I have been out of commission for a couple days, I did not plan a lot to talk about. Thank you so much. But I wrote just a couple of things. So hopefully you guys are feeling up to talking and throwing some stuff in the chat today. I do want to talk about the housekeeping, a few upcoming items this week. Battle of the Best is 2 peas in a pod vintage. Welcome in. Battle of the Best is Sunday. If you were in Battle of the Best, throw some emoji in the chat. Tell everybody what you are bringing to the battle so that they can go and take a look at your cool items and bid on it. I'll show you guys mine. I am bringing a Wedgwood sterling silver brooch right here. It's a cameo brooch. Totally cool. I'm super excited about it. That's what I'm bringing on Sunday. Yet I still have yet to list it. It'll get listed this afternoon sometime. But that's my battle item. I don't expect to win. It's in the original box. How cool is that? But it's a cool item to bring for Battle of the Best. Southern Charm has a 1920 Hamilton Railroad pocket watch. Y'all, this thing is fire. Now that right there, that is a good contender for a winning item on Battle of the Best. Southern Charm, I saw one very similar to that one in an auction that I'm bidding on right now. I didn't bid on that, but it's already up to $180 and this auction has 9 more days to go. And like, so that's the very beginning bidding. Her item is fire, you guys. Like, totally check it out. My husband's already put a pre-bid, and y'all, if you can outbid him, I'd be very happy. I would very much appreciate for you to outbid my husband because he is going for that watch. So you guys just keep going higher than he does. So anybody else, if you're in Battle of the Best, feel free anytime, throw in there what you have. All kinds of cool stuff. I don't know if you guys follow that train. Yes, you would see. It works for both of us. Makes everybody happy. I don't know if you guys follow that train, but it is where everybody, there's, I don't know, 60 or 70 sellers. It's put on by CG Boomerang Echo and TLC Mama Bear. 60 or 70 sellers. We have 5 minutes. We bring one item, starts at $1. The goal is to see who can have the item bid up the highest amount or sell for the most amount. Then that's the winner for the day, and the winners all come back in December and battle it out against each other to get like the, grand title of Battle of the Best for the whole year. He says he bid $1. Yes, I think her watch is up a little bit higher than $1 already because that's a pretty cool item. So check that out. I have a couple other things. So I've been working on things in the background. I keep telling you guys, this is my foundation year. I'm building and building, and I've got a bunch of cool stuff coming. We just wrapped up last Monday, Ledger to Leadership. We wrapped up, which was the 12-week accounting course. So we went through a whole 12-week of an accounting course. We had quite a few people who were there like just about every single week. And that was really exciting to me to be able to bring that to Whatnot. So I don't have plans on bringing that back this year, but I do have 3 other shorter workshops that are coming. I already have them listed, or my show's scheduled for them. In August, I'm going to do a 4-week workshop. It's going to be every Monday night, and it's going to be on setting up your reselling business. So each week is going to be a different focus on setting up your reselling business. And then in November, I have a 4-week series of year-end tax preps to get everybody ready. You can come for 4 weeks. We're going to go piece by piece and get you all ready for your taxes. And then in December, I have a 4-week workshop on 2027 business planning. So we're going to get ready for the new year. We're going to look at different parts of your business and how to plan and strategize and get ready for the new year. So those are coming up. And I know that seems far off, you guys. November, December, but we're almost June. We only have 6 months left of this year. This year is flying by. And I think we talked about this in one of my shows recently about planning and kind of how far out do you go? And a lot of people are like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm going to schedule a show the day I wake up, or maybe I'm 2 or 3 days out. I am an ultimate planner. I live and die by my plans. A little bit sometimes obsessively and too much, but I do like to go out at least 6 months with my shows because it holds me accountable. It's kind of like if you're a runner and you pay for a race, it holds you accountable to train because now you got some money on the table. So when I put those shows out there, it holds me accountable to prepare for them because these aren't like workshops that I can just wing, hit go live and wing it. I have to actually write notes and prepare for them. So I am very much so let's figure out what I'm doing. Let's put it in my schedule. And then I plan around those shows, plan everything else. Obviously, stuff like migraines. If I've got to go out of town for work, I may need to do a little bit of finagling, but usually that doesn't happen very often. What about you guys? Just curious if the people are here. Who plans for further than a month out? If you plan further than a month out, throw something in the chat. Vernon Force, Aaron Sphere, look at y'all people. You're like my people right there. Thank you so much, Millicent. Yeah, I just went through the whole story. I'm doing good. Migraine cocktail at the ER does wonders. What I'm going to put in the shows. You have shows scheduled, but but you've made that commitment. I love that. See, at least you've made the commitment to it. What about people who are like, no, a week, 1 or 2 weeks, that's the most I can do. 1 or 2 weeks out. You work full time, so it's hard to commit. So, and I can understand that, particularly if you work a job that the hours aren't set in stone already, like if they're varied, if the hours vary. Scheduled through the end of the year, awesome. 1 to 2 weeks. I think the most important part is making that commitment, is planning and holding true to that commitment. It's like putting a doctor's appointment on your calendar, or getting your tires changed or your oil changed or something that you need for yourself, right? I have shows scheduled into July. You do. See, that counts. So, besides my workshops, I have a few other special shows, but mainly I do the same shows every single month. So my Saturdays are going to be the same. The first Saturday is Warm Embrace and Timeless Elegance, or Timeless and Elegant, Primitive, Glowy. So it's easy for me to kind of know. It also helps me. Here's the other thing about like planning, particularly if you do like a theme show. If I know that I am doing a primitive show on the last Saturday of every single month, I can easily start to source for that. I can walk, sorry, you guys. Okay, I can walk into where I keep my inventory, and I can see on my shelves where I keep my primitive stuff and know, oh, I've got 3 weeks until this show. Do I have enough items here? Or, oh, wait, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I can lay off sourcing a primitive and focus on another category. So it helps me know, having that show once a month and planning it out in order to help. What do I need to buy? What do I need to source? Instead of just getting too much of one thing. I thought today we could talk a little bit about what are your biggest challenges right now. Does anybody want to share what their biggest challenge is? I've got a few other questions here, but what are some of your biggest challenges? Joanna says, yesterday I was on Whatnot webinar. Oh, they had a webinar for new sellers. Oh, for shipping. Did they? Oh, Julie Becker's talk show. Oh, cool. It was with Whatnot? Oh, so it was Whatnot and Julie Becker together. Awesome. Millicent says that. I think that's what you sent me. So Virginia says, as a new seller, I'm saving receipts, but what do I need to do for taxes for 2026? Good question. I'll answer that one. Really quick, I just wanted that webinar. That is really awesome. I am glad that they're doing more and more of that. I know that Julie Becker is one of the community hosts. So the community hosts are always great people to follow because they do a Whatnot topic once a month. But I like that they're doing more and more for new sellers, because they did away with, we used to have like an onboarding, and they've done away with that. So that's really great that they're going back to doing something. All right, so as a new seller, save your receipts. The main things from my perspective, from an accounting perspective, that you need for taxes. You should be doing your taxes, or you should be doing your accounting, not taxes, sorry. You should be doing your accounting on a regular basis. Monday night, I wrapped up talking about there's a few things you should be doing with your accounting. So you're collecting all of your incoming revenue. So all the money coming in, you're keeping that in a log of some sort. It could be anything that works for you. Pencil and paper, computerized system, Excel, Google Sheets, whatever it is that works for you. You're logging all of your revenue. So anything that's coming in, everything that's going out. So that's your receipts. So you're logging all of that, and you're tracking your inventory. And the inventory is what your beginning inventory, what comes in, what goes out, and what's your ending. Those are the most important things. At a bare minimum, if you are just doing that, you should be good for come tax season. But as we go through, just logging it isn't enough, because we don't do this. We don't keep all those records just for taxes. Taxes is like secondary. A lot of people go into business and that's what their focus is. Oh, tax, tax, tax. But taxes are secondary. They're just a compliance thing that we do once a year. We make too big of a deal over them. All of that information that we're logging is for our own purposes. It's for us to make good decisions as business owners. So we should be looking at it weekly. Weekly should be the activity. At a bare minimum, every week you should be making sure you're logging everything, writing it down, putting it in the computer, whatever you're doing. And then monthly, you should be looking at it for anything that pops out that you need to change immediately. Did I hit my revenue goal for the month? Did I spend too much money on this for the month? Whatever it may be. Then quarterly, you should be looking at the quarter's information for trends. Is my income going up the way it should? Is spending going up and maybe I need it to go down? So quarterly, you should be looking at trends. And then annually, we pull it together and look how we're meeting our goals. And then we use it for taxes. So if you focus more on keeping it on a regular basis for yourself to make decisions, come tax time, you're going to be golden. You're not going to have to worry about anything. Swamp Chick. Oh, the Gibby's running. I see my wonderful husband started that. We are doing CEO affirmation little packets for your giveaways. Swamp Chick says, wrapping my brain around doing low starts to lighten up your inventory. I love it. That is sounds like my husband's like, sounds like an adventure. I'll touch on that, Swamp Chick. I'm not diverting. I'll get there. I'm just catching up on questions really quick. Whatnot has a customer service phone number. They do. Are you asking if they have a phone number? They don't, as far as I know. I wish they'd asking. No, unfortunately, no. It is Bot City. However, if you go back and forth with the bot, and then you can say, it'll ask you, the bot will say, good morning, Tober. The bot will say, did I resolve your issue? And you say no, open a ticket. It's just like a little option. You will then go to a bigger bot, and you go back and forth with that bigger email bot. Eventually, you can get to a real person if you can't resolve it with that bigger bot.
Or the other option is to go into one of the shows of the community hosts, post your question or DM them and see if they can help you reach out Whatnot directly.
That is another option. The community host, you guys, if you guys know, I'm going to name as many as I can. There are quite a few. In my bin at the very bottom, I have a Blasian Buddy created a calendar. I think it's in here. Most of those people are community host. Here it is. I will pin it really quick. Most of these people, not all though, are community host. You can click that. These are all really great seller support. These are tried and true, trusted seller support people that have good information, like tell you the right information. You've had good, usually by the time I get to email, I usually have a pretty decent response right there. Like I feel like my stuff gets handled pretty well by the time we get to email. But if you want to screenshot that, most of them are community hosts. So it's Blasian Bunny, Reworkers Passion, Sassy Vintage Chick, Hodgepodge Place, The House of Coop, Julie Becker, Philly Flipper. That's a handful. There are more. Those are just right off the top of my head. I said Blasian Bunny at the beginning. Yeah, the person who created this. So those are community hosts. Those are great people to go on their shows. They do meet with Whatnot once a month. So they have a little bit insider information, more so than the rest of us do. But in addition, all of the people listed on there are they're the talk show hosts that we can kind of vouch for. There's two that I don't know. I still have yet to get to their chats, but the rest of them are all ones that we're like, you're not going to get the bad shipping information. You're not going to get the bad, way of doing things. So let me unpin that. And that's free. You don't have to buy it. You can just take a screenshot. Reliable. Then my husband's like, they're the reliable people. They're the good people. All right. Swamp Chick, I think it was Swamp Chick that said something about doing low starts to clear your inventory. I love that idea. I think it's a wonderful idea. My only thing with a couple things with clearing inventory and low starts. I'm really big on the words you use. Words are super powerful. So I don't necessarily believe in shows that say clearance show, clear the shelves, last chance. Like a lot of those type of shows to me they're like, the words give a bad connotation. The words give cheap, not I'm still giving valuable stuff. Because think about it, just because your stuff didn't sell in a few shows and you're like, in your head, you're like, okay, maybe I made a bad buy. That's kind of clearance. That's kind of, I need to get rid of it. I need to move it. Nobody else knows that. The other people don't know that. So I'm really big on making sure the show, is titled something other than giving that connotation of clearance, right? Because what do you think when you walk into a retail store and you see the clearance sign? I'm thinking half off, cheap, I'm going to go get me a deal versus I'm going to bid up or I'm going to pay more for this. So it's just that connotation. Nothing against the show, just be careful of the title you use because it does put thoughts in a buyer's head before they even come into the show to spend money. And then, y'all know me. I am 100% dollar starts. I think they're the way to go. I don't think everybody needs to do them. It's really up to you. Our low starts. Southern Charm, you got that giveaway. Thanks for being here. If you're doing low starts, just make sure that the items are of the quality and that you're watching your shipping. If you guys have to pick, because this is what you're going to hear, do low starts and reduce shipping. If you have to pick between a very low start or reduced shipping, I would every day pick reduced shipping first and then work your way to lower starts. The reduced shipping is going to give you more bang for your buck right off the bat than the lower starts will. Because think about it like this, you can ask $10 for an item, and if you have reduced shipping, the value, it's easier for a customer to put that together as, oh, I'm still getting a deal. But if you're doing a $1 start and $9.21 shipping and $5 item, it's harder. That shipping hump is harder for somebody to overcome than the price hump is. You started reduced shipping, and are you liking it? Have you done it enough to have a feel? Do you like it? Now, ultimately, those two things together, I think, are the magic formula for me. I think they work really well together, but if you have to pick one or the other, particularly new people, I would say start with the reduced shipping, then move to lowering prices. Don't you have to pay for, you do. So White Lotus, you do have to pay for the reduced shipping. I'll be very transparent with mine. My shipping is $4.50, and I pay about 15%, 15 to 18%, depending on the show, across the board when I look back and average the majority of my shows in shipping costs at $4.50. But you have to think, I'm paying a lot of times half of the shipping, right, per box, because per box, normally, if I'm doing a flat rate, I mean, most orders are $9.21, the majority. So I'm paying about half of that. To me, that's not so bad, because what happens is offering reduced shipping, particularly anything under $9.21, starts to become more attractive to the buyer. You will see an increase of people in your room. You'll see an increase of bids, and the prices will go up. It might not happen the first show or two, but it does. The increase in what you're selling your items for starts to outweigh that shipping cost. In addition, I think I said this last week, how many people put goodies in boxes? Nothing against that. I think it's the sweetest thing ever. I get super excited when I open a box that has goodies. But if you quit putting those goodies in the boxes, how much money could you then put into shipping that would encourage sales to begin with, not just thanking them after? Thanking after is very important, but you could encourage more sales to begin with by taking money from other sources and putting it into shipping. Dave, I have been contemplating joining Whatnot for reselling. Kind of nervous, but I love coming here. Well, don't be nervous. I think you should do it. There is plenty of room on Whatnot, and I have heard so many people say there's no better time to start than today, yesterday, or even last week. It is growing by leaps and bounds. So the earlier you can take that plunge, the better. I do want to talk about today a little bit some tips for beginners. So you're in the right place. Hopefully we'll get a lot of tips from everybody today. Coastal Peacock, I was having a blast. So my thumbnails, so y'all, this is kind of an experiment. I normally don't do thumbnails of my own picture. I've never really been for that. I always thought, I don't know if it was cheesy or what. I've always just kind of it's not been professional enough for me. Like, I like logo type stuff. However, when I was at the summit, one of the facts that the Whatnot team said was that all of the AI pictures, all these AI things that are being generated with the cartoony kind of people are not converting. People are avoiding them. They're not seeing the click-through on those. They are seeing the click-through on real pictures. That from Whatnot statistics, that if you have a real picture, more people click in your shows than if you don't. So I'm like, well, let's try it. Let's test this theory out. I don't know if I've really seen a difference, but I went ahead and changed it. My husband took a halfway decent picture of me, so I was like, okay, we'll try it.
Yes, and if you notice, the ability to use AI to produce images now has gotten to the point that it's a lot easier for a lot of people to do that. So the proliferation of that kind of images are ramping up, whereas the original regular photos are not as evident in the shows anymore. So if you have a regular photo, your show will stand out a little bit more.
Yes. So Swamp Chick says, we are now doing 921. We'll see when we go to anything less. And you don't have to do anything less. 921. Okay, I see. I'm catching up. I know I'm down. Let's see. You don't have to do anything less than 921. I think ultimately, if you can, it sets yourself apart. What are we do? Look, at any day, you can go into a show or you can go into a category and see how many shows there are in the same category you sell in. Our goal is to get people to come into our shows, right? So we need to figure out how to set ourselves apart a little bit, whether that's through the ultimate experience we're having, the products we're bringing, the shipping we're offering, the price of our items. So are all of that combined together. A lot of people are doing 921. I know Southern Charm, I think she just played around with doing like $7 recently. She's done it before, but I think I could have swore I just saw a recent show that was $7. Battle of the Best is she's doing free. So anything that you can do to set yourself apart, but don't be reckless with it. Check your data, make sure, go back and look at your numbers, make sure it's something you can afford. But 921, even that is huge because there's so many people who are like, nope, buyer's gonna pay all regardless. And if you're a buyer, which one are you gonna pick if everything else is fairly equal between sellers?
Good morning. I love discounts.
Hello.
And great point, Joanna.
I'm catching up. I'm missing some points down here, but I'm trying to catch up.
Good morning, the Polish speaker.
Way better. Used to spend too much just to put extras in. So you think about the extras that you put in. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you on the picture. Trying. Oh yeah, big items. Somebody asked about big items I saw in there. You have to be very careful. Good morning, the Polish picker. The mix of items. When you're doing any type of reduced shipping, the items you pick you should be very intentional with what you're putting in your show, because we don't know as sellers if somebody is going to buy if somebody's going to buy all the big items I have in a show, that may be a separate box for every item. So keeping that in mind, I don't want to put, good morning, Mel and Stella, a bunch of big items in one show. I may put 2 or 3, knowing that if one buyer buys all of those, okay, that's 3 boxes. They're going to pay for one about, and I'm going to pay for the other 2. So keeping that mix of items is very important when you start thinking about the size. How many can you fit in a 12 by 12 box if somebody were to buy more than one? And he wants to say something. He's giving me the look.
Good morning, Crafting with Chris. She missed it.
Good morning. So
she gets on the rant, and as you can see, she's feeling a lot better now.
I am. Now I'm roaring to go this morning. As a buyer point of view, if you're in a show and the seller doesn't have the item on the back of the camera frame, I just scroll, I want to see items. Joanna, explain that a little bit more. Are you talking about if the items aren't back here or they're not listed, you scroll if they're doing purely random and you can't see them? Because I think this is an important point. I'm going to wait until if that's what you're saying. Yes, people have nothing in the background. I don't know what's going on. That is huge right there. Some people love the mystery. Some people they just want to see what's coming up next. They have no clue and they thrive on that mystery. A lot of us want to make sure that there's enough stuff offered in the show to maximize our shipping, to make the most of our shipping. So if you are not pre-listing, having things in your background that people can zoom in and see, having things shown in some way, if you're forward facing, your jewelry displayed, beautifully in front of you, or your smalls, whatever it is displayed, vitally important. Who here as buyers feel the same way, that you want some inkling of what's coming up so that if I buy one thing and pay $6 shipping, is there more that I potentially may want to buy in this show? Because I don't think Joanna's alone in this. Yeah, look at that. Just about everybody.
Good morning, Mel.
Now having...
Robin's Rustic Relics is here too.
Robin, hello. I would want to buy more than one item. Exactly. Most of us want to maximize that shipping, but not too busy. Coastal Peacock, there you go. Some people like to see a whole bunch of stuff, and it works for some people. Look at Green 13. Green 13 does not have this beautifully curated, look, he's one of my favorite sellers. I am not getting on him. But let's face it, his background is not beautifully curated. It's kind of a mess, and he throws it all out there. And he's very successful and very popular on the app. I still feel that the more beautiful you can make it, the more curated, the more appealing, the nicer it is. It gets to the vibe. What is the overall experience? He's created this mystery experience. You don't know what's coming next. It's on the table. He's going to run it. That's the experience he's created for his group of people. I tried to create my experience. I wanted a little more like come in and shop, sit on the couch, kind of that. I would love to have that Louis Vuitton where you get your cup of champagne and sit on the couch, and I will bring purses in front of your face, right? Not that I sell purses, but I want that vibe. So your background creates that vibe. So if it's super busy, keep that in mind. You're getting this rushed kind of chaotic vibe versus a more relaxed type vibe. New sellers, when we get to know them and see what they offer. Exactly.
Hey everybody! Put ducks in the chat. It is time for
No, you're
pre-bids.
making that point to the other half, huh? Sneaky, I like that. I do that too. If you've noticed, I'll say things. Remember, when people come in our room, especially for the new people, when somebody comes in your room, this box here, I say this all the time, this square is all they experience. So you've got to make the most of this. So what they're seeing, the words you're using, how you're showing your items. Tomorrow on the business talk that I'm going to do at 7 a.m., we are talking about increasing your live sale, the value of your live sale. So increasing the bid amount. That's the whole focus of tomorrow's show is going to be on that. And a lot of what we're going to talk about is the full experience. All right, my husband's yelling at me to move over to pre-bids. I've been keeping people waiting for 30 minutes. So let's go to pre-bids and then we'll come back and start talking because I've got some other questions to ask.
Hey, Miss Kelly.
Hey,
Good morning.
Kelly. All right, let's move my stuff. We'll do some pre-bids here. All right, we're going to just start with the biggie. We're going to kick it off with a bang right here. Y'all, there must be something super special about these salt and pepper shakers. I bought them because they were cute, but y'all been pre-bidding them up. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. If there is something super special, then you know it and I don't. I just think they're adorable. So they say Home Sweet Home on the bottom, and they got the most adorable little bluebirds up there at the top. So we have your salt and pepper here. Yeah, me too, Mel and Stella. I have no idea. They're in really great shape. We'll turn them around so you can see them. They still have their little plugs down there at the bottom. We have a remnant of a left-in sticker down there. And we'll turn it back around. They're stinking adorable. And we're going to get it going. Right, not 30 seconds. Let's do 10 seconds with a 3-second restart. And they're running right now. Thank you for your bids. And Shalom, those are going to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, did my, honey, you need more labels. That's not going to print today because you're going to need more labels. All right, let's do these. This one is really cool. I'm not going to, you can change the labels out. He has a label printer over here for me and it just ran out. All right, this one's, okay, we'll come over and change it. Okay, you should have opted to give you a bookmark. Oh, thank you, Mel and Stella. Okay, hold on. He's making me change labels now, you guys. We're gonna keep you waiting so I can change labels over here.
In the meantime, I'm gonna show you this item from the top. It's interesting.
All right, this one's really cool. It is an amber.
And no way. No way.
Congratulations.
Look at you. Look at you. I know, Mel. I know. I love discounts on the Gibby.
I love discounts. It's rigged. Honey, it's not happening. I'm not gonna fight with the label printer. All right, we just don't have labels. We're okay because I have it pre-listed. I'm not fighting. I can't get it to work. Okay, we have this beautiful thing here. If you've all noticed, I have zero patience, and if it doesn't work in one try, I'm done. And I can't get the lid of the label printer open. So, divided dish, amber, candy, nut, candy.
I
or
know.
nut bowl.
She gave it a second, and then she's like, nope, no work.
Yep. And we're gonna go ahead and run this one. This one's really pretty. Look at the top of this. I love how pretty it is on the top. And of course, you've got your little divided tray. Would work great for some jewelry also. And Shalom, thank you so much. Let's move right along to the Longaberger. And look at that, he came over to fix it for me because he loves me a little bit. All right, we're gonna have to hold it like this because he's not here to switch my camera view. He should have checked the labels. He wasn't prepared. This is Longaberger, and it is one of the Longaberger pitchers, which for the longest time I didn't even know they made, but they do make it. I didn't need to wash it here. That'll come off. There, see? Coming off. Just a little bit of dirt. It is beautiful. We have some dust in there. We're going to go ahead and run the Longaberger. And it's going right now. Longaberger ceramic pitcher. Nice size. I know, I didn't know they made pitchers and cups and stuff till probably about 6 months ago I came across one. Ranchan Finds, congratulations. And now you can always spot it. They usually always have this pattern, so now they're easy to spot that I know it, but I didn't know it for the longest time. All right, what do we have next? The Rooster canister. Let's look at the Rooster canister. If you guys have like the farmhousey country thing, can we switch our camera for me, please?
1 second, please.
And he got our labels working. It's coming. He's switching. Maybe. There we go. We have the Rooster canister. This one's in great shape.
As you can see, she's not patient.
I'm not patient. That was made in the manufacturing. That's not a defect there. Oh, wait a minute. Is that a crack? Oh, hold on, you guys. There's a crack in this. All right. I didn't know that. Whoever wants to pre-bid, you can cancel if you want. I will still run it, but you don't have to bid, or you can cancel it if you did the pre-bid. I just saw that crack, so we're going to do full disclosure. Trying to see, I don't see it on the inside, so it's not all the way through. It's more of a surface crack. We'll run it in case you want it, but if you don't and you pre-bid, feel free to put a cancellation in. I am totally good with that. But if it's just sitting up on a shelf, it's fine. Shalom, you let me know. And Shalom, thank you, thank you. And what's next? Little toothpick holder. This one's adorable. This one, you guys, we're going to have to zoom in. I do not know if that says Delft down there. It has the blue and white. Can you zoom?
Give me 1 moment, because she thinks that cameras are just automatic wherever she puts them.
I cannot read that. I have zero idea if that says Delft or not. It is so wore off. It is at least reminiscent of Delft. We'll come back up here. It looks very similar. You have your blue, your white, your windmill, little toothpick holder. Does it say made in Germany? Thank you very much. So we're not going with Delft, but it is made in Germany. That's what we're going to go with. And that's running right now. This one does not have any cracks or chips in it. It's still cracking me up.
I agree.
Shalom, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to go through this whole list of pre-bids. We have the little butterflies. Butterfly, not flies. Let me get the trinket dish here. And let me feel just to make sure. No, it feels good. I'm not feeling flea bites on it. 4.5 inches wide, so good size. Put it on your vanity somewhere in your bathroom. Beautiful little trinket dish. Thank you for your bids. And Shalom, thank you so much. I appreciate you. What do we have next? We have a couple more pre-bids here. Let's do these salt and peppers. Now these are up my alley. This is my type of salt and pepper here. I love pottery, and this would be the type of thing you would absolutely see in my house, 100%. Very kind of simple. I love the florals on there. We have a little bit of paint wear going around the edges here. This is all in the way it was made. There's nothing wrong with it. They have their little stopper things, so they're still very usable. 4 inches tall, and they're running right now. Don't know what kind of flowers those are. Orchids, maybe? Think they're orchids? I don't know. Shalom. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move over into some of these little brass guys. So full disclosure, I don't know if these are vintage. We got them at an antique store. However, the booth that I bought these in, they had imported hens. So I think they're still adorable. I love the little brass animals regardless of where they come from. But I wouldn't buy their hens because all their hens were imported. I did pick up some of the little brass guys. Look at him, a little brass lobster. How adorable is that? It looks like a scorpion from the top. It's not, it's a lobster. I like him from the side better. He's cuter from the side. There you go. And we're gonna run it right now. It's about, I said tall, or is it long? No, 3.5 inches long. And then we had a couple of little brass pieces I got at the same spot just because I thought they were adorable. White Lotus with the first purchase too.
Thank you for your first purchase.
Thank you. Thank you, Southern Charm. We do try to do ducks in the chat when I remember. If I don't remember, Southern Charm usually remembers because she's way better than I am. I just don't. I forget. Y'all, I forget ducks in the chat, and I have a big old sign right in front of my face. All right, I put this guy as a compote. You can call it a compote, a cup. It's like a mini one. This is heavy brass. This is a lot older brass. Has a little bit of like banged up a bit here, a little scratchiness going on right there. I thought it was really cool though. Think about like if you could put like some little flowers or something out of there, it would look pretty. And it is very heavy for the size of it. Character flaws, that's right. Renchan Finds, congratulations. And our last one for right now, we still have other items we'll get to later on in the show probably, is this little turtle. Yeah, you're gonna have to switch and zoom in. This is probably my favorite of the whole morning. I like turtles. Turtles and owls are my thing.
All right, this is small. Let's see.
All right, I'll pull him back. Look at how cute is that? Now turn him around. He's so adorable. 1 inch long, 1.5 inch. There you go. Running right now. That would definitely fit up on the printer's tray. Shalom. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get back to talking a bit. We'll come back over to pre-bids later if I see any more. So what's our next topic this morning? What are we talking about now? How about, yes, do you have an idea, my love? I see him over there looking at me. Nope, he's shaking his head. What about tips for beginners? Let's talk about tips for beginners. So anybody, if you have been on selling at all, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 years, whatever, what kind of tips do you have for beginners? What is that thing that you're like, man, I wish somebody would have told me this? I have a couple. And I'll tell you my story. That was, I wish I really would have known this. Don't get stuck in research mode. That's a good one. Just do it. Don't do paralysis by analysis. Don't get so worried about getting everything just right that you're paralyzed from moving forward. Same thing, Fern and Forrest, same concept there. Just push the button, go for it. You got to jump in. The only way to get good at it, the only way to get over your fear, the nervousness, is to do it. Southern Charm, read the instructions, terms of service. 100%. Everybody should spend some time, even if you're not new, if you haven't, read terms of service. Premise everything. Amy's Treasures, what do you mean by that? Premise everything.
Oh, come on, I love discounts. You telling me that's not fun? It is fun.
Yesterday on the class for beginners, they say you can do a private show. That 100%. So Joanna, I have heard I Love Discounts preach this over and over. One of the best things you can do. They have the practice mode, which if you just want to practice by yourself, it gives you a little bit of feel for it. But before you do a live show, do a private show and invite 2 or 3 trusted people and actually put things in your bin or in your auction tab and have them buy it. So get your husband, your wife, your cousin, whatever, even if you got to give them the money to buy those things from you, That way you could practice from beginning to end. You could practice loading items in, running an item, shipping the item, see how it looks on the back end on the shipping screen. You can practice pulling something from the bin to the auction tab. So doing a private show lets you have full access to every single feature. You could practice running a giveaway if that's what you plan on doing. One of the best pieces of advice right there that I've ever heard. Is there a video or something on how to set up for a brand new seller? Yes, there is. So if you go to help.whatnot.com, under Seller Academy, there are a ton of videos that Whatnot puts out on a whole variety of topics on setting up your shows, running your shows, and shipping after your shows. And I highly suggest taking a look at all of those because you'll get at least a good feel and most of your questions answered through there.
I'm going to put it right here on the screen so you can see it.
Good morning, Why Not by MD.
There it is.
There it is.
On the very top is the address. You can go here, and there's a ton of resources.
Highly suggest that. And then you can start to YouTube. There's some good YouTube people out there. And then going to that list that I put up earlier of the reliable chat show people and asking questions. Those would be my 3 things to get up and going. Quick question. I came in as Noel was fixing the printer. Are you using Notbot or something that is standard to Whatnot? So
I'll answer that.
he'll answer.
Rawson, I think Notbot was a great idea. I'm not willing to pay $30 a month for a subscription, so I designed my own. And it's somewhat limited. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but if you are running auctions, it does print. And if you want to just grab one, put it on too.
So this is what it prints for us. And he designed this using AI.
Bring it up.
Which way? This way.
Yeah, right there.
So this was the first item that sold, or second item that was sold today. It tells us who bought it, what it was, and the date. Every time we sell something, it'll automatically print as long as there's labels in there. So the way we use it, even though we pre-list, so if you're doing random, it wouldn't have the name of the item, but it would say the name of the person, random item, whatever the number is, like whatever your title is, and then the date. So if you're doing randoms, it's really great to help keep track. But the way we use it for pre-listing is I will put it on the item, and then when my daughter's here, she's at school, but on like my Saturday shows, she'll grab the item, wrap it all in the bubble wrap, and do the packing, and then stick this on the outside of the bubble wrapped item so that I can come back and know whose is whose to pack in boxes. So we use it to keep track of our shipping. And White Lotus, you got that giveaway. Thanks for being here.
Congratulations.
But he created it. I got a really awesome husband who does stuff like that for me. We do not sell it. He will share the files with you. It is like a, what do you call it?
It's a Google Chrome extension. So you have to install it on your browser, and you have to use the computer connected to the printer to be able to print. And it prints on 2x1 inch labels. Also, it only tracks auctions. It doesn't track anything that you sell from your bin or giveaways.
Correct. Just auctions. But you think about if it's a giveaway or something from your bin, usually that's labeled in a way that it's really easy to know what it is. And one of the reasons we don't want to sell it is we don't want to compete with Notbot. We're not going to try to stomp it on somebody else's territory. He created this for us and shares it with people who are interested. The other reason is every time Whatnot changes their code in the background, there may be a tweak needed for this. Like it's Whatnot changes their codes, and he's had to update this a couple of times. So we just don't want to get into the business of having to like be software people all the time.
My feeling is that if I'm gonna ask you to pay for something, I'm gonna have to maintain it, and I have to guarantee that it's gonna work 100% of the time. And Whatnot doesn't tell you when they update anything. So it's by trial and error that I find that sometimes this is not working or that is changed. And so that's when I go and I make the upgrades or changes. I go ahead and publish back to the same repository where you can download it. And that's how you update the new version.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing the show.
Thank you. Yeah, Southern Charm's using it. She likes it. We've given it to a few people. So if you're interested, he'll put his name in there. Just message him and he'll get you the file if that's something you like. And don't get me wrong, we are not saying anything bad about Notbot. I think it's wonderful. We're just cheap. And I have a husband who can create me things, so it didn't make sense for us. But I'm sure Notbot is a really cool system. From what I've read, it's pretty cool. All right, we're back on tips for beginners. We only got a few of them. Here's one of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about tips for beginners that I wish somebody would have told me, or what I wish I had a better knowledge of at the beginning, is how to source and when to source and how much to source. When I first started, I had, I don't know, 100 or so items. And to me, that was enough for 2 or 3 shows. But if those aren't selling, particularly at the beginning, to have a 100% sell-through rate is kind of rare at the beginning. Whatnot will boost your first show, but then after that, you see a decline in shows like 2, 3, and 4. And so you'll see a lot of the same products being shown time and time again, which gets old very quickly. And I was actually having a discussion with another seller about this and something that they're kind of trying to work their way through. So understanding to have enough items to have a variety for a variety of shows ahead of time. I know some people are like, oh, just get enough for one show and then you can make some money and buy more. But those items get stale really quick. If somebody comes to your show and one time and they're like, oh, I really like this person. Their personality was great. You know, they had good prices. And then they come back and it's the exact same items. And then they come back a third time, it's the exact same items. How many times are they going to keep coming back? It's like you if you go to a store where you're looking for clothing or something different, home decor, and you go again and again, you're going to be like, they never restocked their shelves, right? So really thinking through your plan for sourcing ahead of time. And I don't say that in the sense that you can never, look at the big picture, not item by item. You can't, I'm not saying you can't ever re-show items, but you have to have a good, healthy mix, which I think I hear a lot of new people say, well, I can't get people to stay in my room. Well, what are you showing? Do you have a healthy mix of new stuff for them to look at? Because they're going to get bored if you don't, and they won't stay. So I wish I would have understood that more at the beginning. It took me a long time to get to the point of being able to have a good rotation of items. And that's part of where my 4 different Saturday shows kind of theory came from, is I show one whole set on one week and a completely different aesthetic on the next week, a completely different aesthetic on the week after that. And so if I have anything left from the first show, the first week, I'm not showing that again until 4 weeks later. Do I reshow items a few times later, or if someone asks for something? Oh, you do? Okay. Hold on, I'm missing something. My husband's like, I do, but I'm not seeing it. Okay. So you do, yeah. And I think that's great. This is one of the things that I wish as a new seller I would have known, is to have more variety. It took me a while to get into it. And honestly, I saw differences in the number of people in my room once I started having fresher and fresher items. I have an idea. If you have a couple items and they don't sell, do a vignette with them on a basket. Absolutely, Joanna, it's a wonderful idea. That's actually, that kind of bundling concept is something we're going to talk about tomorrow. We could talk about it today too, but it's already on my notes. I just was writing that down. Is bundling is huge. If you have something you've shown 2 or 3 times and it doesn't sell, increase the value of it by putting it with something that's a little hotter of an item, putting it in a pretty basket. One of the examples I wrote down for tomorrow is, if you have a mug, that's cool, maybe a really great mug, but it doesn't sell. If you have a candlestick, that's really awesome too. But then if you take a basket and you put the mug and the candlestick and a thing of tea in there, now you have a giftable bundled item that somebody could buy and gift to somebody else. It's like instant increase in value on items that maybe didn't sell singular. Particularly if you have just one candlestick, it's hard to sell because people like pairs of things. So start mixing it in a way that it can be presented and used. Put items in your bin after a couple of shows, Ranch Hand finds. And I love that too. One of the things I found with the bin items, they can still get stale. I used to, when I had a lot in my bin, I mainly keep stuff in the bin here, but I try to switch it out every month. At the end of the month, I'll usually try to sell off most of it and put all new stuff in each month. Is if you have a lot of items in your bin, one of the things I did is I numbered them And then the odd numbers I would do one month, and the even numbers I would do the next month. So they were constantly switching out, so it looked like I was rotating inventory, even if I didn't have a lot to rotate. That's something else you can do, like every 2 weeks, once a month. And some people will be like, oh, that's hard to remember what to rotate. That's why I did odd and even numbers. You can do it with letters. You can put like the letter of a month in front of it, and that's the month that's going to be in your bin, or the number of a week or something like that to help you keep track. So that's just an idea. I have a few things in my bin already that I'm like, oh, these got to go because they've been in here way too long. And sometimes you don't even need to donate them. You can just put them aside and bring them back out 3 months later. And it's like they're brand new.
And I didn't see Miss Marie coming in. So good morning, Miss Marie.
Good morning. The other new, and if you guys have any other tips for beginners, let us know. The other thing I was thinking for beginners, I go back to what everybody else said at the beginning. Don't overthink it, just do it. But have some systems in place. Think through. I always talk about you have source, sell, and ship. They're interconnected. You can't do one without thinking about the others. So how are you going to source? What are your vendors? How are you going to keep track of your inventory? When you sell it, how are you going to keep track if you're doing random, if you're doing pre-listed? Kind of have a plan. You don't have to overthink, but have some organization, because if you're not sure of what you're doing, it's going to come through on the camera. So having that confidence in your plan that you've set up, and then how are you going to ship? Making sure you have all of your shipping supplies before you do your show. Bad idea to wait until you sell it and then realize you have 48 hours and you haven't ordered any bubble wrap.
Hey, good morning, Junkie Bunkie.
Good morning. Good morning. Have you ever heard that numbering isn't good for the algorithm? I've heard that and not sure what to do. I used to number. I have Eclectics, and that is a false statement.
It's not the algorithm. It's not good for something that is called an SEO, search engine optimization. So if someone's looking for a specific item, if you put numbers, it might be a little more difficult than if it's just a straight word.
But as far as the algorithm, if you look through in help.whatnot.com, they talk about discoverability, which is the algorithm. Nowhere there does it say that putting numbers affects your algorithm. The algorithm for Whatnot works on activity, which is selling stuff, running stuff, people talking in your chat, the movement of your chat. That's activity. And it also looks at your account health. It doesn't specifically say account health, but it tells you, if you read under discoverability, it tells you all the individual pieces that go into your account health. That's what drives the algorithm. Numbering will not hurt. Now, where, like my husband is saying, where the numbering, that thought may have come in, items in our marketplace are also Google searchable. So if you have 001 Tommy Hilfiger red shirt, that 001 may throw somebody off, but if somebody's Googling, I want a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, they should still be able to find you. So numbers really aren't going to hurt you.
What Liz likes. Good morning, Liz.
What does Liz say today?
You stole my line right there. I was gonna show it, and this is my tip for the newer sellers. If you're gonna be running, and give me 1 second, let me get it prepared real quick because I don't have it ready. If you're running on your phone, just make sure you don't have your camera pointing in the wrong direction. What that means, or what Liz was talking about, is if you notice this, she's gonna be right on your chat.
Oh, yes. So if I'm down here and I'm showing
and
stuff
then you're
like
showing
this,
something.
okay. Or if you have the camera too high and you're going like this to show stuff, that's just not comfortable for you as a seller, and your face is covered by the chat. So there's too much air. You don't want too much air up here.
Thank you, Liz.
Correct. Junkie Punky, you are correct. Tapping on the screen per Whatnot does nothing. It's great for the seller. It's fun. It's a good way to show support for the seller. So absolutely don't stop doing it, but it doesn't do anything for the algorithm. Neither do giveaways. Straight from Whatnot, giveaways don't help you in the algorithm. So running constant giveaways, if you're doing giveaways, it's out of the kindness of your heart, or you have some marketing purpose for it. it doesn't, speaking of, we're going to run another one. It doesn't help with your algorithm whatsoever.
Joanna, you mean 2 screens as in the co-hosting, or 2 screens as this?
Now there's two. Why is there 2 of me? Oh my gosh, that's way too many of me. You need to put you in there. Joanna also says packaging. Absolutely. We've got to ship your stuff right. There's nothing worse than impressing a customer with a great show that you took time to source the item, time to sell the item, the customer's happy, they're anticipating the item, and then you put zero thought into your packaging. I 100% agree with you. I have a question. How reviews affect, obviously it's negative, but how did that work? Because I didn't want to give this person a bad review. We'll talk about it. Let me get down there. Let's just see what else I'm missing here real quick. They finally told the truth about numbers in the yes. Watch and chat and other sellers category and people. Absolutely. Amy's Treasures, there you go right there. Be active. Be part of the community, just like Amy's doing right here, like all of you guys are talking in here. Okay, so for reviews, here's the thing with reviews. If you're a reseller, someday you're going to get a bad review. Somebody's going to wake up, they're going to be in a bad mood, whatever, something. Something's going to break, it's not going to be for out, they're going to give you a bad review. You just keep selling. Reply to the review nicely, professionally. I'm so sorry. Reply to it, be empathetic about them, and keep on selling. That's all you can do. Is there a way to see how many adjustments you have used remaining when you aren't actually preparing a shipment in the moment? Rawson, not that I'm aware of. The only way to see it is by going into shipment screen, clicking on it, and looking, like scrolling down to the bottom on your computer, and it'll say what that, like 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. What else am I missing? Yes, does the seller have 2 screens when he's showing himself? Oh, okay. That screen and screen feature there, that's the one my husband has, but if you're on an iPhone, you can also do that in your shows. You click on your 3 dots up at the top, I think, or is it your number up at the top? There'll be a drop-down menu, and it's called Camera in Camera. And so you have, what is it called?
It's called Facecam.
Facecam. So if you're on an iPhone, you have that same ability to do like the bubble. The only difference is that it is square.
And you can reposition the square wherever you want. Also, just keep in mind that if you enable that, because it's now using 2 cameras, it's going to draw your battery a lot faster. And some people say that it overheats their phones.
Virginia, I love that idea. And you've actually now I have a new thing to thrift. What do you guys think? So Virginia wants to know, if you opened a box and it had like Christmas paper in there as packing paper, would you be offended by it? I wouldn't. I would bring a smile to my face. I know some people get offended by newspaper. I'll still use it. Some people get offended by newspaper. They look at it. Nope. A cute idea. I like it. Now you've given me something else to add to my thrift list.
Eclectics. By my opinion, hands down, 2 devices.
Absolutely.
2 devices is going to be a lot easier. If you're running on the phone and you're tapping or you're doing something, you're going to move the whole entire phone. And some people don't like that they're shaking while you're trying to set up your next sale or anything else like that. It is a little bothersome sometimes, especially if you don't hit the right button or you're tapping too much.
And we just won't send wrapping paper to Eye for Beauty because he gets offended. Eye for Beauty, should I get like gold and wrap it in like gold with a bow and make it pretty? Newspaper to cushion, not to wrap. Only newspaper I'm seeing from another purchase. Yeah, a lot of people don't like newspaper because they don't like the feel of it. It's a sensory thing for people, and it gets on their fingers and they don't like it. I don't purposely buy newspaper, but if I get it from another source, I can guarantee you, as long as it's still decent, I'm reusing it. Purple tissue paper. Oh, that was nice. See, all these little extra touches are neat. Now keep in mind, how much is that costing you? So make sure I always have this cost benefit in my head of, is it, am I paying extra? Don't use peanuts. Oh, I agree. I absolutely hate peanuts. I will reuse them if somebody sends them to me. I don't like opening them because I have never been able to open a package with peanuts and not get them everywhere. maybe it's just me, but I make a mess with peanuts. Thank you. I need to see the chat and keep up with it better. So let's see who got this giveaway and we'll answer that question. A Monster Mama, congratulations. So for the chat, if you didn't know, when you were on your computer, I do not know about phones. I do not run my show from a phone. You can click a little button. If I look at my chat right now, there's like a little square with an arrow. You can click on it and it makes your chat bigger, kind of pops it out of your screen. So let me look here. Even on my iPad I have over here, I can click the up button and now my chat fills my whole screen on my iPad. So you can, one idea is to make it bigger to see it. Another idea is, another idea is to do mirror to a big screen TV. That's what we do. So I have a big screen TV right behind the camera that I'm facing right now, and that helps me see my chat. And after that, as far as reading your chat, it's practice. Practice. Always be looking at your chat. Boutiques always has, okay, great answer. I haven't sold on Whatnot since 23. So, oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're getting something from this. That's probably, I think, when I came into live selling, one of the hardest things for me to get used to is the chat. I highly suggest what works for me. I have a partner here. So anybody, if you guys have tips on keeping up with chat as a solo person, please put them in the chat. As having a partner here to help me, if I miss something in the chat, he's over here going like this. So he's like, keep reminding me, hey, look at this person's comment. You missed this. That helps me. If you guys have ideas as a solo person, what do you write it down? How do you, what helps you stay on top of the chat? You can slow it down. So if your chat's really, really popping, you can slow it down using little the slash in front of the box. Getting a good mod, absolutely. A mod will help you. A mod can focus on the chat more and let you focus more on selling and then pull you in when necessary for chat items. Encourage people not to be afraid to repeat themselves. 100%. We're not perfect. My chat box is, even if I expand it, is not huge. So it is super easy to miss something. Good morning, Gretchen. So do you suggest 2 devices like a phone or a tablet? I think we answered that. Absolutely, I would suggest two devices any day. Think about the people that are running on the phone and that's it. And they come up and start doing this on the camera. I find it annoying and the camera's going like this, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, you're giving me whiplash here. Don't do that. I have help. I always say if we miss it, say it again. 100%.
If you run on a phone and a computer, you'll be able to see the show as well. If you run on a phone and a tablet, one of them, the screen for the show will be blacked out.
Thank you, Gretchen. So Gretchen's mentioning our podcast. So on Sunday evenings at 6:30 p.m., myself, which is Zoe's Treasures, I Love Discounts and Green 13. On YouTube, we do a podcast. Last week was technology, so we'll talk about a few of those items. Every week is a different topic, and you get 3 different sellers giving 3 different opinions. So if you are not subscribed, I highly suggest you go and subscribe. It is a live podcast, so you can come and ask questions, and we do try to answer as many as we possibly can. And it's always a 2-hour podcast every Sunday night. And this week, oh my gosh, I Love Discounts. If you're still here, you're going to have to tell me what our topic is this week. I forgot. Buyer loyalty. Sunday night, we're talking about buyer loyalty. That's what we're talking about. Cindy, painter's tape. Okay, why? Stop using painter's tape, to when you're selling and you put the name and stick it on item? Expand on that. Tell me why, because a lot of us use painter's tape. So I want to know if there's a issue or something people don't like it.
Thank you, Mel, and thank you, Liz.
Thank you guys for putting it in there. Yes, it's on YouTube, Reselling Roundtable. And if you miss it, it's on YouTube. So you can always go back. We are also on
Joanna, here it is.
Spotify.
And
Apple.
if you want to just listen to it, you don't care much about the video, you can go to Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, or Spotify.
All right. So Cindy says, quit using painter's tape on the outside packaging and sometimes leave the residue on items. Interesting. A lot of painter's tape is one of those things that are highly recommended. I don't put it on my items, but I have a huge supply left over from another event that I do like tape my bubble wrap down with. I've had.
And yes, Mel, yes, thank you. The podcast is on YouTube.
Yes. Let's see who's going to get that giveaway. Second chance chick, congratulations. All right. One of the things that, real quick, we're going to come back to this because I've got another question here. I use painter's tape to secure the bubble wrap. Yeah, that's what I do. And it's easier to open the bubble wrap than with clear tape is used. That I hate packing tape on bubble wrap. That drives me insane because then I can't reuse my bubble wrap. So one, yeah, you're like, yes, don't put packing tape on bubble wrap. It drives me. That's the bubble wrap that I'll have to reuse as packing material, like just to cushion things. But I like to be able to reuse my supplies as much as possible. I love discounts. I know you hate saran wrap, but saran wrap keeps the items from bumping into each other. More secure. There you go. I will not quit using my saran wrap.
Good morning, the Accessory Alchemist.
Good morning. One of the things, we are having a great day. I hope you are too. I really enjoyed your show last night. I liked hearing about your whole system. I thought it was really cool. Then twist the, now I know that's me. I don't twist the end. I should. Southern Charms puts a little piece of tape on her so it's easy to find and like peel off. I got to get better about that. Maybe I should get my new shipper girl to start taping my saran wrap and make it easier for people. My daughter is my new shipping person. She has been on this kick of putting little duck stickers on packages. So if you ever get a package with a little duck sticker, you know she was working for me that day. Where do I recommend purchasing wrapping? We're about to go do something here in a second. Anybody put your sources in there. I like bubble wrap is Sam's Club for me. I find that's the cheapest place, even better than Uline or what's the other, Bubble Boy. I think Sam's has the best price for bubble wrap. I do most of my other supplies from the Boxery for my boxes, and then Amazon for tape, packing paper, the brown like filler paper. I do Amazon for that.
Auntie Barbie, thank you. I know, but she loves to use those things. I don't know why. The important part is the back of it, though. Unless you're really collecting them.
Oh, really? Well, thank you for telling me. I will change that. All right, you guys. So I just found out, and you could say that out loud. I'm totally cool with that. So when I send they look like this. Our little rewards cards. I got some back up there. I usually put a white sticker to hold the card onto the packing list, but I guess they ruin the card. And I didn't know that until just now. So that's the type of feedback that I generally appreciate because that allows me to change things. So totally cool. You didn't have to red chat that. I'm good with that. I'm good with feedback. Unless you call me ugly or something, I don't like that, but that's good feedback. Okay. He's yelling at me. Every week, really quick, one of the things we like to do, and I see some more comments, we're going to talk about the whatnot commissions, and then anything else we'll get to in just a second. One of the things that we've started doing each week is featuring one seller a week just to share the community. And this week we are featuring Swamp Chick Boutique. So there you go. Swamp Chick Boutique has been around for a while. 5.5 sold, 5-star review, good shipping time. South Florida, and scroll down, let's see when the next shows are. Right there. So a lot of estate sales, vintage decor, and there is a show tonight at 9 o'clock. Look at that gator on there. So Florida. Swamp After Dark.
But also, she also started to do a community show. And let me tell you, the conversations are pretty good.
Right there. There's a community show on 6/2. So y'all, if you like what you see, my husband, you see her right there. You can click on her name in the chat. He'll also put her in there. So it's easy to follow. All right. Let's talk about, let's see, I missed a question. I've been using Amazon out of convenience, but really should I do some research? Monster Mama, I've been using Amazon too. I like Amazon. People, I have heard Uline is good. Thank you, Coastal Peacock. I just kind of get stuck in what I like. What I don't suggest for supplies, you guys, I highly do not suggest this, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Quit going to Walmart and buying one box at a time. or one little roll of bubble wrap at a time, you are costing yourself a fortune. If you're in a pinch and you need something really quick because you ran out of something, or you need a specific size box and only one or two of those sizes, Walmart works great. But you're spending way too much money than you need to spend. Buy in bulk, you will get more bang for your buck. Your supplies will last longer. Buy your tape in bulk, your packing tape, all of that stuff. I like the Boxery. So it's the Boxery. They do charge shipping. I like to buy mine once a quarter. I'm putting out a good $700 to $800 a quarter in buying boxes, but it's once a quarter. The Boxery also sells on Amazon, and I've done the price comparison to both, where I've broken it down to see the per box price. It comes out to about the same. So the Boxery boxes on Boxery are cheaper, but you pay shipping. On Amazon, the price for like a pack of 25 or 50 boxes is a little bit higher, but if you have Prime, you don't pay the shipping. It equals about the same. And of course, all of your shipping is deductible tax expense, so we all know that. Talk about boxes yesterday. They say if you open a business account with UPS, they give you thousands of dollars of free boxes. So here's my thing with UPS, okay? True. UPS or USPS here. Let's talk about both. USPS is the Postal Service. You get all of your priority mail boxes, flat rate boxes for free. You don't have to open an account. You can just log on to USPS.com. You can order all your priority mail boxes and supplies shipped straight to your house. Highly recommend. I use those. That's my first go-to. Always is my first go-to. And then if I can't fit it in one of those boxes, I go to a box that I've actually purchased. UPS is for UPS shipping only. This is some of the bad advice that's out there. And I'm sorry if somebody important said this. No, it's okay. USPS correct for all the boxes, 100%. But you will also hear people say, get a business account at UPS and they will give you free labels. They do. Those labels are to ship UPS. I see that. Thank you. Those labels are to ship UPS. They are not to ship USPS. So if you go to UPS and you get those free labels and then you use them for whatnot, you're misusing those supplies. That's just as bad as misusing priority mailboxes. You're not supposed to do that. There you go. I Love Discounts. They lost their business account. And I have heard other sellers on here tell you to do that. That's one of those bad pieces of advice. Scuba Stevio, what are you saying? WB Mason is another good source for boxes and bubble wrap. I will have to check them out and do some price comparison. I'm going to write them down. WB Mason. I've never looked there, but I'll definitely do some price comparison. I'm not against changing if I can find cheaper prices with the same quality.
Thank you, Scuba.
Uline is great, is for pickup. So if you have a Uline next to you, there you go. Is another. I don't know if we have one. I should look at Uline. I don't think I have a Uline close to me. Our post office told us to get a postmark account for ground boxes. A postmark account. I don't know what that is. Oh, a Poshmark account for ground. Okay, that's the same thing. Poshmark will offer free ground boxes. Again, that's for Poshmark shipping, not whatnot shipping. That is going back to misusing supplies. I'm a rule follower. If you come to my show, you're going to hear the rules, and I go by them. Let's see. You pack and ship for bubble, envelope, and poly mailers. All right. Which boxes do you order from USPS? We cannot use a certain type, correct? You know, you can use, so eclectic. From USPS, I get all of my priority boxes. They come in a multitude of sizes. I get probably 4 or 5 different sizes, and flat rate boxes. When you're shipping, your label needs to match your box. So if your label says flat rate, it can only go on a box that says flat rate. If your label says priority, it can go on a priority box, not a flat rate box, or a brown, like a regular brown box. If it says ground, it can only go on one of your regular boxes, not priority boxes. So you're allowed to use any of the USPS boxes. Just make sure that the label matches the correct box type when you're going to pack.
Thank you, Bronson. My 5 fingers hit the enter before I was able to type all of them.
Oh, you can, Cindy, I didn't know that. You can schedule a pickup. Oh, yes, you can. I knew that. Yes. In certain areas, we have a hard time because we're so rural, but in certain areas, you can go on USPS website and schedule your pickup, long as you do it like the night before, to pick up all your boxes if you're having trouble getting to a post office. Swamp Chick says, we recycle as much as we can in the way of boxes and shipping materials. Neighbors, there is nothing wrong with recycling boxes. I know some people are like, I'm only going to use brand new, and that's okay. If your business, that's your focus, that's okay. Nothing wrong at all with recycling boxes, as long as you're checking to make sure that they are still usable, that they're not falling apart, they're not smelly, they don't have weird stuff at the bottom of them. Can you explain the UPS thing one more time? I didn't catch what can get a UPS business account suspended. Ashton Guild, absolutely. UPS offers, if you have a business account with UPS, they offer free shipping labels, the 4x6 shipping labels. You will hear a lot of people tell you, oh, go get the free rolls from there, and then you don't have to buy labels. They're only good to ship for UPS packages. If you are getting those and you're shipping on Whatnot, Whatnot ships USPS. You can get your account suspended that way. You're misusing the labels that they're giving for their shipping. Same with Poshmark. Poshmark gives boxes for their shipping, not for Whatnot shipping. Mailman hates you now, Monster Mama. Yeah, ours won't pick up very often. Yeah, I think I reuse stuff all the time. I see a lot of people saying recycle. Let's see, how much weight do you add to the shipping profile? So it depends what you're selling and what the packaging is. If you're doing a t-shirt, it could be far different than a vintage vase. So when you're talking shipping profile, I don't use custom profiles. I'm assuming you're just talking about when I'm adding in my weight to my normal item. Weigh it out. Take a box, take whatever type of packing material you would have to wrap that item in, stick it in the box and put it on your scale. Then you have a good idea. Another way that I heard What Liz Likes explain it is to take a box, take you different boxes, write yourself a little chart, put your box on the scale, see how much your box weighs. You'd be surprised at how much some of those boxes weigh. And then put some bubble wrap and see how much the bubble wrap or whatever it is and weigh that. Just write it on a piece of paper and stick it up next to where you're shipping or you're setting up your items. And then you're like, okay, if my item weighs 8 ounces, but I'm going to probably ship it in this size box, that box weighs another 8 ounces. I need to go to a pound for my item. The box company is The Boxery is where I use, but people have also been saying WB Mason and Uline has been a couple other suggestions today. It is forgot me nots. Do not share your show with other users. Do not, when you hit share show and then you go to the Whatnot DMs and you share it with everybody, that is actually against terms of service. That is spamming. And a lot of people, not only will they not go to your show, they're not going to read your message, and they probably aren't going to come to see you at all. People hate it. I know I absolutely, it junks up my box so much that I can't get to the real messages because I have so many people sharing shows. It is absolutely against terms of service. That is only to share, that share button is for your social media. It's to share in an email or on your Facebook or Instagram, or if you have a friend that you're close with. I'll think nothing of sharing to Southern Charm a specific show that I know she's interested in, or I Love Discounts, because we're friends outside of the app too. But I would never share mass to everybody else on here. Millicent will share stuff with me every now and then that she knows is right up my alley because we're friends. This is one reason I stopped recycling packaging materials. I know the weights of my boxes, my paper, and how much. Yeah. So what Liz like? So you just, in order to be a little more accurate, you don't recycle as much. But yeah, so many shows. Exactly. I get them all the time. It makes it easier to estimate your weights. I get that. I'm not going to go into how I do shipping because it's going to confuse people, but how do you bookmark a show? So to bookmark a show, you go, for like me, you can go and click on my name. Once you click on my name, you hit view profile, and it's going to bring up my profile, and there'll be shows, like products, shows, reviews, I think. Click on shows, and all of the shows will be listed there. So you can click on anybody's name, and then view profile, and it's going to bring up their shows for you.
I'll show it in a minute. Let me show the other one first. Here you go, directly from Whatnot. Right there where it says
Don't send unsolicited promotional links. Unrequested messages with links to your business website or shows may be considered spam. There you go. It's not just Tracy spouting off here. It's actual Whatnot rules.
And there it is. And then for the other one, give me 1 second. So we're gonna use Swamp Cheek one more time since I was already there. So if you go to the profile right there and you scroll down to the shows, you can see where the time and the date of the show is, and you see a little symbol.
Bookmark. Yep.
That's the bookmark symbol, and you can see the number of bookmarks that has. So if I click on the bookmark, what's going to happen is, I click on the show. You click on the bookmark, it turns it black, and now it has an extra number.
Oh, Monster Mama, I love that. You're like, I don't share my shows, but if you're going to do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. I like that little saltiness there. Again, just be careful. If you're friends with somebody and you know they're interested in something, if I see something primitive Crocs or vintage Christmas, I'll always share with Southern Charm. Just don't spam people. They don't like it. It's not going to get you what you want out of it. They open the
White
door.
Lotus, if all I get is just messages with shows, what I do is I report the user because it's against community guidelines.
And just don't feel bad. See, well, now you know, so now you don't do it, right? That's all. That's learning. That's growth. Don't feel bad. I just want to go back to recycling for a second, because there's like really legit two sides of the fence here, and there's a definite line. People are either going to recycle or they're not. And I know, like Daisy Lane. Daisy Lane's like, nope, I don't want to recycle. I want all fresh things. This is my business. This is how I want it represented. And I totally respect that. I also respect the fact that we do a lot of Amazon purchases, and I get a ton of boxes, and I'm not just going to keep throwing them away. If the box is usable, it's okay to recycle.
What Least Likes comment needs to be read out loud.
Okay, hold on, I got to find it. What does she say? Oh my gosh, I need to do that. Where is it? I'm missing. Which one is it, honey? Oh, yes, I get that all the time. Nope, that's White Loaded. I'm going to be so nice. I'll send 5 of my shows for every one they send. Yeah, just a little salty going on. We're just going to give them some extra love right back, right? I do not have any Longaberger today. Thank you for asking, though. I do see some more pre-bids in there. We'll get to them in just a second. Let's do the pre-bids, and then we'll talk another thing about for beginners here. I got another topic. Think about if there's anything else you guys have questions on. We'll keep going with questions. Let's see this. Ash and Guilt. I see a big user on Whatnot telling sellers to keep everything at 8 to 11 ounces and not worrying. Ash and Guild, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Here's all I'm going to say. I'm going to be very careful not to call out names. If anybody, I don't care who they are, big, small, medium, in between, whatever, tells you not to change your box sizes, they are wrong. Terms of service says to put the proper weight and the proper box size. USPS says to put the proper weight and the proper box size. If they are not doing that, you will get in trouble. Those carrier adjustments are coming. You will be charged for it. I have this very strong feeling that there is going to be a lot of smaller sellers who followed these people's advice, and they are going to get hit hard as soon as carrier adjustments come through. Who raided me?
Welcome in, Raiders. Grab your hats and
Faded.
step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Faded Flamingo, thank you for bringing everybody over. Y'all, my name's Tracy. We're doing a chat and sell. We are doing pretty much new seller help today. We are talking all tips and tricks for new sellers. We are just about to go and auction a couple of items here. So hang out, stay tuned, and chill with us. Give your advice to some new sellers. Thank you for coming over. Faded, please. I know who you are. I know how wonderful you are, but some people here may not. So put all of your details in the chat. Put in there what you sell, who you are, when you're going to be on, everything so they can follow you. Please. Thank you. All right. We're going to sell a couple things real quick here since we have some pre-bids. And we're going to also run a giveaway. Get one of those up and going. We are doing our CEO affirmation cards. That is our giveaway. Zion. We are going to go ahead and get this up and pinned. We have this beautiful, this is like a, I feel so Valley Girl, orange crackle glass creamer. I think crackle glass is so pretty. We have a really smooth ponto mark down there for what that's worth. An applied clear handle. Beautiful. $1 starting bid, $4.50 max shipping. And that's running right now. Thank you, Mel and Stella. Appreciate you. And that's going to a Monster Mama. Congratulations. The next item we have
On
is
its
this
way to you.
beautiful trinket box. Let's see here. Will you throw our side camera on for me, please? Look at the florals on that. How pretty. It is porcelain. It is in really good shape. No chips or cracks on it. Uh-oh, what's he doing there? He's putting Millicent's up on our screen when we're trying to sell stuff. There he goes. All right, this is running right now. He's just Mr. Ornament. He's putting everybody up on our screen. Or that should be Mrs. I think the S is cut off. Hello, Natural State of High. Shalom. Thank you so much. That is heading to you. All right, you guys. Let's talk some more. What are we going to... Our next topic here. I was thinking... Do my next. Southern Charm. Put Southern Charm up there. She wants to be up there. OBS is Open Broadcast System? Software. I always get the S wrong. Open Broadcast Software. So that's how a lot of people are going to do like fancy split screens. There is a split screen with built in with whatnot, but fancy split screens, graphics, stuff like that. We don't use OBS. We use something a little bit different. Open Packaging. We do something a little bit different, and my husband's always happy to talk to anybody who wants to learn about it. Packages with clothing, please use a lint roller. Very good suggestion. And if you're packaging clothing, put it in another type of like baggie or something in case a box gets wet. There'd be nothing worse than getting clothes that are like soppy and yucky. That would gross me out.
Liz, it's a lot easier
I'm
than
with
you
Liz.
think.
I am totally with Liz. I can't work my own remote control. So y'all, this was the funniest thing. Our podcast last Sunday was on technology from beginning to advanced. Here I am trying to give a whole 2-hour podcast. Thank you, Linda. Finally, yes. A whole 2-hour podcast, and I can't even work my own remote. Like, I am not the tech person. My husband's a tech person. If it was up to me, I would just have my cell phone, and that's all I would use. So that's actually how we came to do the graphics. Is he thought I was too boring, and he said we needed something more.
That's right, Mel. The typing is real time.
Yes, what the stuff he's putting up there is all real time. See, Mel says I'm not boring. There you go. I do want to know though, since we talk tech, for beginners, what is your advice? What do beginners absolutely need? We kind of broke it down. Is this one's real. This one's real, but we do have a green screen. I can't get it out.
Yes, you can.
Can I? All right, we do have a green screen back here. So if you're talking high tech, this is all my shelving. That's my real wall. But right down here, we have a green screen that you can see it popping up there. So we do have this for when he wants to change things out.
So wait, before you put it away.
All right, before I put it away, he wants to show something.
So I can do different things with that. So for example, I can come back and switch the background.
So usually during chat shows when I'm not selling, we'll have the green screen, or during the podcast, we'll use the green screen. But when I'm selling, I need access to my shelves, so we don't use this. And if my husband wasn't here, I would never use it because I wouldn't know how.
Or you can have, for example, this one. This one will be cool.
Nothing's happening. Oh, we can put a house. So he can put all different stuff. And this stays on our ground, and it just, like you can see, just folds right down into a little case that we keep right here all the time.
And Pam, congratulations for the giving.
Congratulations for being here. His and Her Chicago shop. Thank you very much. We are actually talking, when we talked tech on our podcast the other night, that music in the background, I'm just going to say it all. I don't mean to offend anybody. I cannot stand when people play music from their Alexa or whatever devices because it doesn't come through good. But if you have good music, one, royalty free, but two, jazz has been proven to increase sales. So you're not offended. Jazz is one of those things, if you look at buyer psychology, jazz is a type of music that affects buyers in a way to increase the amount of items they purchase. I don't know if it's true or not.
Cindy, personally, as a tech person, I dislike the way they do the co-host. I think they have a better option, and we've used it in the past where instead of being up and down, I'll put them side by side. So, but that's on my end. I can manipulate that on my end, put them side by side on the co-host. Now, it involves other things. I cannot do it immediately on the fly. So it takes a little bit more time for me to prepare for a co-host that way. And the music, hold on, let me show you so you can listen a little bit better.
He'll explain. So we use the sites we use for music. We use Spotify royalty free. Almost every streaming service has royalty free music. So you can always find royalty free on almost every streaming service.
YouTube has a lot of royalty free channels. And as you can see, it comes out very clear because what I'm doing is I'm feeding the music through a audio mixer, as much as it's all mixed with the microphones as well.
I would say that if you're the type of person who needs music in the background to pump you up for your own energy level, keep it at a volume only you can hear. Because what happens is you start to play it on your Alexa and your phone's trying to filter out, particularly iPhones they have that sound filtering. So they're either going to pick up that music or they're going to pick up you, and it's never going to come through really clear. Then what happens is the seller will turn the music up louder so that people can hear it, and then they're yelling over the music, and that phone's fighting, and it's just this constant like bad noise coming through. So if you can't run it through through the computer somehow, just play it low enough so it pumps you up and does what you need to do your job, and don't worry about the audience having music. If I ask here, how many people care if there's music in a show? If you care, or let's do it this way. If you don't care about music, throw something in the chat that, no, I don't care if there's music or not.
Thank you, Mel.
So we're getting a lot of people that are like, I don't care if there's music. But I do know that some people like the music for themselves. It helps them. Nothing wrong with that. You can just keep it so you can hear it. That's what I Love Discounts does a lot of the times. So I think I missed a couple of questions. Somebody asked, okay, we talked about royalty free. How do we do the green screen, honey? We had a question on how do you do the green screen. That's too techie for me.
The green screen, it can be done through OBS, but personally what we do is I have a lot of equipment, and one of those pieces of equipment takes the input of a camera with the green screen and replaces the green screen, and I can fine tune it very well to the point where I can choose to show the back or the front depending on what my desire is. So sometimes I play around and I say that I'm gonna disappear Tracy, and I just totally blank her out, and it's just a green screen.
How do we use two cameras to show items? It's kind of the same. He runs it through a video switcher, so he has a whole setup. Show all the equipment. All right, there's enough questions. Go ahead and show the equipment. So he'll give you a view, but we have 7 cameras.
Yes, about 7 cameras, and I can generate a few on the fly. Give me 1 second. Let me set it up for you.
Oh, absolutely, Cindy. I hate if you're going to hold your phone while you're doing a show, get a gimbal so it's still. Don't be like this.
So don't do what I'm going to do.
Don't do what he's about to do. This is our NASA command center. This is my husband's stuff that if I didn't have him, I would solely run. So we were talking a little bit of tech. This is super advanced. You do not need this to run. I always feel like I have to do a disclaimer. If you are new, all you need is your phone. You do a phone and some type of light so people can see your product. You do not need what we have. My husband's been doing this for years. This is was his profession, his hobby. So keep that in mind. Yes, a green screen has to be green because it's something about the color and the way that
you
it
can
works.
do blue screen as well, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult because usually people wear certain shades of blue on their clothing, and so you got to be very careful when you do the green screen. Congratulations on the Gibby.
Congratulations, Jenny. Congratulations.
And so let's give me a second.
He's trying to switch cameras over there so he can show you the command center. We'll do a quick little walk around.
So I'm going to show you. I'm going to start with my buttons, and then I'm going to mute it. So
We'll show you the whole thing. We'll show you from
hopefully I don't get you all too sick.
my perspective too, from over here.
So these are my buttons. There's one set, and there's another set right there. And then for those of you who were saying something about the wires, I'll show you the wires. I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, so this is where he sits. This is his little command center and all of his wires that drive me absolutely insane. I know, I can't stand the wires either. It's that marriage compromise there. I just kind of go with it.
That's the audio. That's the mixer. And this is one video switcher. And this is two video switchers. And then I have a little bit more of equipment up here. That's what delivers the show. That's what plays my special effects. And this is where I have all the cameras and all the feed on a monitor so I can see what it is. And then there's my view of her. And then this is to play special effects right here, this keyboard. And then I have you guys chat right there. And yes, I'm coming.
You're going to bring it around?
Yes, I'm coming. So you can see from afar what it looks like.
This is our whole studio here.
So these are my messes, my wires. And then this is what she sees when she's sitting down. So she's right there. And then we have a camera overhead. Then we have a camera right there next to her coffee cup. And then I have a camera right here in front of her. And then on top of that, I have another camera that is mounted somewhere over there in those bunch of wires. And one of the last cameras is behind us right there.
Come around this way.
On that, hold on, hold it.
All right, well, I'll try to not make you guys sick here.
All right, and then the last camera is this one right here that is pointing to our black box. That's the camera right there.
And that's
That's
when
hidden.
we do our glow shows, we'll
And when
throw
we do
something
our
in
glow
there.
Shows, that's what you see. That's the black box right there. So, and this is the view. That's where the printer is, and the labels come in.
And this is my view.
And this is her view right here.
Yep.
So I got a few lights. I got 2 panel lights with warm light, and then I have one dedicated light that is pointing up so it can diffuse the light. And then I also have this other light that is pointing up, diffusing the light. And that's it. I'm gonna give it back to the
All right.
preview.
So Cindy asked 2 questions. One I forgot to answer from earlier, so we're going to answer that. But the most recent is, should a seller be on screen or off screen? Thank you guys. Again, this is all my husband set up. I just get to buy stuff and sell it. He does all of this. So on screen or off screen, what do you guys think? My opinion is sellers should show themselves as much as possible. You chose the wrong, that was totally in our marriage vows. It was totally, how can you help my whatnot business? It was like, check the box. No, I should have, but I didn't even know about whatnot when we got married. Do you shipping at the table you are sitting at? No, I'll take you and show you our shipping station in a second. Let me just write this down. Let me answer these 2 questions and I'll show you my shipping area, but it's a mess, so you guys are going to have to offer me a little bit of grace with that.
I agree, natural state height.
So on screen or off screen, I think you should show yourself. This is a social app. I personally had a very saw an increase in my business when I started putting myself on camera. I used to not. I used to only show my hands. Now, if you're showing something small, obviously it's not, you can't sell jewelry like this, but every now and then flip that camera around and show yourself. A good person to ask about this, I don't know if he's here this morning, but Forgotten Memories does jewelry, and they used to not show themselves so much. They started showing themselves more, and I think they've seen a positive increase in their business because of it.
Natural State of High, she uses the face cam too.
Yep, that's another good way. We were talking about that face cam earlier. Natural State of High. Drabby's Deals. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Natural State of High is a great one to watch for that face cam feature where she may be showing her product, but then she has her face up here in the little box. So she's making that connection, that personal connection with people. It is really important. You will see a difference.
And look, the Iron Sphere does the same
Yeah.
too. And look what he says. The sales went up when the people were able to connect with the face.
And if you're self-conscious, we all are to some extent. We're people. We're all human. We're all self-conscious. There's a few of us that are just put yourself out there. But nobody cares. Nobody cares that I have gray hair or I have wrinkles or I have pimples. Nobody really cares. And if they do, heck with them, right? They can swipe out if they don't like the way I look. People don't care. They like you for who you are, the experience that you're bringing. So don't worry about all of that. I mean, I get on here, I tell my husband, I'm like, you can do all this fancy stuff. Can you take about 10 pounds off of me? You know, we are who we are. Just be yourself. That's what people connect with, is you in all your authentic beauty. Tony didn't show his face. I Love Discounts said 10K followers, and now he does it all the time. I could imagine not seeing Tony Talks with his face there at the beginning of every show. So the other question that from earlier that got asked is, can I explain what not commissions? I will do it very briefly. Hopefully, I think, Cindy, you asked. If not, hopefully the person's still here. Good morning, Jennifer. So what not commissions are really pretty simple as far as I'm concerned, especially compared to all the other apps. 8%. Oh, was it you? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I wrote it down and just looked back down. Every sale that goes through, you were charged 8%. That goes to Whatnot. That is the Whatnot commission. Then you were charged 30 cents for every sale. When I say sale, that's one completed swipe in an auction, like they won the auction, or a bin sale or something out of the marketplace. So it's 8% of that price plus 30 cents every transaction, every sale. Then there's a 2.9% fee on top of that. That's for processing the credit cards and any other fees that go into that. That is on the cost of the item, the shipping, and the tax. So you have to add all three of those. It's 2.9% on all of that. So that's your total, the three different things that you're charged. 8% on the sale, 30% transaction fee, and 2.9% on shipping, tax, and the price of the item. It averages, if you're just trying to get kind of a ballpark average, 12 to 14%, because the shipping is going to vary based on the zip code, right? How far they are from you, and the taxes are going to be varied. So 12 to 14% is what, on average, what you'll be charged. Dollar start people, why not? Cindy, tell me why. My favorite topic. Why not dollar start people? I'm going to take a guess. It's because everybody sends around this little chart that says, if you sell something for $1, you only make 58 cents. True. I'm not going to argue it. Thank you for your purchase from the bin. I'm not going to argue with that at all. The problem is when the item sells for $1, and there's a good chance things will sell for $1. The problem is the thinking. We bring a static mindset to a live listing site. The static mindset means I'm going to give a price, one price. There is no option for that price to go higher, only for that price to go lower, right? eBay. No, you're going to sell something on eBay and you list it for $40. Somebody's not going to say, oh, wow, this is so great. Let me give you 50 for it instead. They're going to send you an offer and say, can I pay you 30 for it instead? So you're pricing to make a profit every single time. You're pricing per item. On Whatnot, we can't look at it per item. You have to look at it in total. You never know how much something is going to sell for. You have the chance to add value to your items for your buyers to increase their bids. That's what we're actually going to talk about tomorrow, is increasing your live sales amount. but it's fine to start $1 when people get, absolutely. If you're going to start at $1, be prepared it's going to start at $1. When I started doing dollar sales, probably the first 8 to 10 shows, most of everything sold at $1. I wouldn't recommend it unless you have some risk tolerance and you have a little bit of reserve, because people need to understand, start to think that this isn't a one-time deal, that you're bringing them items, good quality items, over and over and over again. It's not like an instant success story. It takes time to build it up. Yeah, so tomorrow morning, we're going to show the shipping station. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. on my business talk, our topic is how to increase your live sales amount. So the whole 2 hours is going to be ideas and thoughts and psychology behind how to increase the amount that your items are going for. So that's tomorrow at 7. The dollar starts may not be for everybody. It's my thing, but just because it's my thing doesn't mean that it has to be everybody's thing. You need to do what you're comfortable with. But I do I don't want to take offense, but I get a little antsy about it when people are like, never do dollar starts, and it's a ripoff. No, there's a whole lot of psychology under dollar starts, and I'm actually building a really successful whatnot business with dollar starts. And Cindy, dollar starts aren't bad for clear out items. I do have to make this one point, and I say this all the time when I talk about dollar starts. It cannot just be for leftovers. Like, it has to, if you want dollar starts to be successful, you got to bring something of quality. I see a lot of sellers will do a dollar start show with a bunch of stuff that nobody else wanted.
Yes, Gretchen.
And
Absolutely.
then expect it to get bid up. Well, if nobody wanted it to begin with, and now you're going to do it for $1 and you expect it to get bid up, it's not going to. So it's almost self-defeating to begin with, and then they walk away from the show and they say dollar starts don't work. So if you're going to do dollar starts, you have to bring an item of quality in order to get the bids to go up. I think dollar is only good if you have a room with a lot of people, and it can, like today I have a lot of people in my chat shows. I get good amount of people, but in my selling shows I'm averaging 30 to 40, sometimes up to 60 on a good selling show, and I do dollar starts. So all right, let's do the I'll take you to my shipping station here. Again, you're all just going to have to deal with the mess. Sorry, because I wasn't prepared to show you my shipping station. Here, I got to give my husband my phone to mirror it, because I'm not sure where I need to mirror it to. We'll go on a tour of my shipping station. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Mama says, I hosted a dollar start raid train yesterday, and every one of the sellers begged to do it again. I love that, mamas. They saw value in it. Thank you. Is it ready? Okay, I'll be right there. Here's the other thing with dollar starts. It's not an all or nothing proposition. You don't have to just do dollar starts. You can do $1 start or $2 starts. It doesn't have to be a whole show of dollar starts. There's nobody saying that it has to be that way. All right, here's my shipping station. We'll go take a quick tour. Is it mirrored right now?
Switch it.
Okay. As soon as we get over there, he's going to mirror it so you don't see my whole messy downstairs here. All right, you can go ahead and switch it. This is a mess. I can't see chat if you guys are talking to me, but I will show you my shipping station really quick here. Let me turn the light on. All right. So this is in the unfinished part of my basement. We have packing paper, 2 bubble wrap machines here, some garbage that don't belong there, 2 bubble wrap machines. This is a lesser priced model. It works great. It's a little bit slower. I use it for this size. This is a really fast model. I use it for that type of packing. I'll make bubble wrap, keep it down there. Extra boxes, bubble wrap on a stand. Those are lumber holders from Home Depot. They work great to hold boxes. So we have different size boxes there. And then this is where all the shipping magic happens. I just have a folding table that all the typical shipping supplies. I keep a tablet here for shipping purposes. So we do, let me get that off the screen. We do all of our shipping. I do all my shipping on the tablet, stays there. I have that for entertainment purposes. We do 2 different label makers. My Rollo is what I print shipping labels on. The pink one I do my any other type of labels. And then just a mess of shipping stuff. And then over here we have various honeycomb paper, plastic wrap, packing paper, storage under the table. And if I turn around, we have a mess of a pegboard that holds just all kinds of miscellaneous stickers and whatever else. So that is it. That is my shipping station. And then I'll show you the other messy part. This is storage. This is my inventory. So I organize it by category. Miscellaneous listed. Crazy Creamer show coming up. If you guys like Crazy Creamers, been collecting for that. I got a Christmas show coming up, been collecting for that.
You are.
This right here is Warm Embrace. So I can always tell what, like if how much I need to source. So this is a show coming up the beginning of next month. I need to source more. You can see those shelves are empty. So this is a show on Saturday. I pulled most of it off for Saturday's show. And then I have Primitives down there. So that's it. Hopefully I won't get you sick. There we go. And then my messy living room of stuff.
And if she walks too far, as you can tell, starts getting a little choppy.
All right. That's it. I couldn't see your comments, so I'll try to get caught up. Thank you for hanging out with the little shipping display there. I am a huge believer in tadpoles of keeping everything at hand. If I have to dig something out, it's not happening. If I have to pull stuff out for shipping to do my shipping, it's already not my favorite chore. I'm not going to pull stuff out.
Yes, Cindy. And that's the reason why I have so many cords. Because relying on the wireless signal, sometimes that's what happens. Your wireless connectivity is not very reliable sometimes. And if you start moving around a lot, either you're going to lose a little bit of audio or you're going to lose a little bit of video or both.
Yeah. I actually am not super happy with that shipping station. It works. It's a little cramped. It's better than it was. I would like to, I've talked to you guys before, my goal is to have my Whatnot house where I can have shipping in a full heated garage. I can't do my garage here. The other downside of our setup is we're in my basement. So I buy stuff, I source, I bring it to the basement, clean it, sell it, show it, do all that stuff, pack it, and then got to bring it back up. Kind of a pain in the butt when you're carrying, 50 to 80 packages a week back up the stairs. But eventually we'll get it set up in a different way. But all right, let's see. Let's take a little break. I see a couple more pre-bids. Let's run those items, and then we can talk a little bit more. I wanted to talk about tech for beginners. So, because we go a little overboard of tech, but I want to do some tech for beginners. All right, we've got this little chicken. Look at him. He's adorable.
Oh boy, that's small.
It is small. Or you can, I trust your camera abilities there, mister, to zoom in. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Look at him. Look at this little chicken. It is a little brass chicken. He sits just fine on his feet there. That's his backside. And up and running right now. We'll turn him around facing you. There we go. I'm just trusting him.
I know.
Tremelto, thank you so much. That's heading to you.
Thank you.
And we have the hobnail dish is the other item today. Here. Oh, this one's pretty. This is the Moonstone. So it is a Fenton Moonstone divided hobnail dish. Look how beautiful that is. 7.5 inches diameter. We'll flip it over so you can see the back side of it there. We sold on Monday, we had the heart one that looked a lot like this one. And that's running right now.
Opinion on tips during lives?
Opinions on tipping during lives. All right. Tadpoles, thank you so much. What do you guys think? Do you have one of those too, Southern Charm? I think they're pretty. I love the Moonstone. Tipping during lives. I don't see anything wrong with it. Honestly, if it's between a boost or a tip, I would do a tip any day over a boost. And I'm not soliciting tips. I'm just trying to answer a question. I think tipping is fine. Particularly, there's times, and I've heard what Liz Likes talks about this, and she makes a really good point. If you have a favorite seller and you know that you have bought a bunch of stuff and it's going to have to fill 3 or 4 boxes and they're offering a really good shipping, maybe they're doing reduced shipping of some sort and the prices aren't real high, it doesn't hurt to tip a little bit to say, hey, I know you're going to pay extra for shipping. Here's $5. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I've seen this happen, and I think it's a really sweet gesture when I see it happen. I know in a lot of the community shows, talk shows, that's how, this is everybody's time. Again, I'm not soliciting tips. I hate talking about this because it always sounds like I'm asking for something. I'm not. But I have seen a lot of chat shows that are out there, and everybody who does a talk show is just giving of their time. We may be selling different things for purely chat shows, not the chat and sell, but purely chat shows. We may be selling like guides or books or something. Thank you so much, Tadpoles. I love discounts. Thank you. Thank you. But they're giving of their time. You guys, I appreciate it. You really don't have to do this. Thank you. So I think tipping is just a way to be considerate of that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Southern Charm, y'all stop. Thank you. Just prepaying for your stay. You guys, I Love Discounts is coming here. I get to see them on Monday. I'm so excited. They're some of my favorite people. We are not doing a tip train. I have a question. How much value you put in order to make a profit? Like, for example, if you purchase something for $1, how much do you sell it for? So, Joanna, I would, first of all, look, okay, a minimum would be $1 just to cover your cost of goods. And then, you're going to have about 14% of fees on that. So now we're looking at, $1.15, $1.20 just to break even. You also got to think about, you've got to pack those items. So start adding all of that in. At $1 minimum, I would sell it for, again, I like what Cindy says, $5 and up. My typical, you will see, if you look at my bin, I pretty much don't list stuff under about $6. That's probably the baseline for me. Very rarely, if maybe something has a defect or it's just, I can't justify $6, I'll put it smaller. That's pretty bottom line. Now, when I'm selling stuff for $1, when I'm auctioning, that decision is made when I source. It's not made. My pricing decisions aren't made when I'm pricing. My pricing decisions start when I source. So for my dollar sales, I have a certain dollar amount that I won't pay over. Every time I pick something up, I say, I'm going to sell this for $1. Do I feel there'll be enough bids for me to make a profit? So if I pay $1 packing fees, really depends on, it really kind of does depend on the item you're selling. 5 to 10. I have my first show tomorrow, I think, but shipping has me so nervous. I don't understand priority versus ground. I'm hoping the label, Presley's, congratulations on your first show, first of all. Congratulations for taking that leap. I'm super proud that you're doing that. Don't worry about the shipping. If you enter it correctly, if you put it in correctly, it's going to ship correctly. Trust the Whatnot system. Trust that Whatnot does the bundling. Put your weights in with your items the right way, and it will bundle. There's also a ton of other people. If you get into a pinch, feel free to DM me. I Love Discounts is another one. And both of us I'm just going to volunteer you, I Love Discounts. Be happy to talk you through some shipping. I Love Discounts actually does shipping chat shows every Monday at 5 o'clock where they'll walk through and they will like literally sell something and take you all the way through the shipping and show you the whole process. I wish you would do flat rate under £1 without an adjustment. Yeah, I guess I don't mind because it's cheaper. I got it set to, just set it to the default. For your first few shows, trust the Whatnot system. Don't try to be fancy. Put it in right to begin with. It'll ship right. And it does tell you when you go to your shipping screen, it will tell you if it's expected to be US, like ground or priority. It says it right on your shipping screen. So you already know what box to use. Then you can always change it. If it doesn't fit your flat rate box, you can turn that off and use a regular brown box. Unless for the buyers, it's more sourcing boxes. I'm not sure what you're saying, but it's probably part of another conversation I missed. So, all right. What about for all the new people? We're going to do one more question, and then I've got to go because I got a phone call with my boss at 9:30, so I got to wrap up pretty soon. If you have a large item, use a custom profile. I actually would advise against selling anything bigger that won't fit in a 12 by 12 box when you're brand new. If you are brand new, at least your first couple shows, don't try to sell anything that will not fit in a standard box. I advise against custom profiles for your first couple of shows. Understand the system as it is before you try to get fancy. There's a lot of caveats with custom profiles, that they don't combine with any other profiles, that they don't combine with the regular shipping. So I don't think they're bad, but I think you need to understand the system as it is before you get into that stage. You did 3 for 10, sold 1. I did 3 for 10. Oh, so you did like a three items for $10? Be mindful that if your weight changes, the box label may change as well. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you go from 14 ounces to 1.5 pounds, you're going from ground to priority at that point. I only sell what I want to fit and ship. So big items, you will eat the ship. Yeah, big items, you're going to pay for shipping. Once you change that weight and dimensions, if it goes over your adjustment allowance, you're going to pay for that. Yeah, 12 by 12. I do a lot of 14 by 12 by 10. A ton of 14 by 12 by 10, which is the same dimensions as 12 by 12 by 12. So,
Auntie Barbie, you could just take
okay.
a snapshot of
I'll
that.
send it to you. I'll print it and send it. You'll get a pretty one. The adjustment allowance is great, and I've heard rumors. People are like, "Oh, with the carrier adjustments, that's going away." No, there's nobody at Whatnot has said that's going away, and it's okay to use your adjustments, you guys. There's this big misconception. I find that I have 14 or 17 inch. Yeah, as soon as you get to, but 17, then you'd have to go down like 10 by 10. I can't do the math in my head. Do not worry about using your adjustments. They're there for you to use. It's okay to use your adjustments.
You have a pre-bid.
Oh, I've got a pre-bid. Let's do that before we wrap up for the day here. The only problem I have, it does 6x9 brown envelope ship the same? No. 6x9 I want to say is too big. Mama, in the in Whatnot help, they actually list the size of the envelope for PWE. I don't know what it is. If anybody knows the PWE envelope size, please feel free to put it in.
Auntie Barbie, you know that we multicast to YouTube. So for those of you who came in a little bit later, you want to watch a little bit beforehand, before you came in, there's a YouTube channel. You can find most of our shows. I try to post whatever we can. It's going to be on YouTube, so you can watch the whole entire show.
And Tramelto, don't feel bad, because Whatnot does the bands, right? So 8 to 11 ounces is 11 ounces, right? 1 to 2 pounds is calculated as 2 pounds. So Whatnot, because they know they go to the top of that band when they're adding all the weights together, they've given us 5 free adjustments. It's kind of like compensation, because we don't have a pool of money that's our shipping money. So they're going to charge us higher. Those adjustments are to offset some of that. So don't feel bad about using them. It's totally, they're there for us to use. There, thank you. PWE Daisy Lane, thank you so much. There's what PW cannot exceed for it to go PWE. All right, we're going to do this iridescent ceramic shoe. Look at how beautiful it is. The light's a little too bright on it, but it is. Can you take me out of the bubble? Oh my gosh, that bubble's going to be the bane of my existence right there. Beautiful shoe. It is ceramic. We have BS. Oh, look at BS did it down there. Uh-oh. We're going to run that. That's going right now. Thank you, Auntie Barbie. And dim the way. Hold on. How do you put weights in? The bird theory. Thank you so much. That's going to you. Let me read this question here, our statement. How do I put weights in and dim the weight before the post office item? I was wondering, how in the heck? All right, so for the carrier adjustments, you guys, I've had this problem myself. Watch your carrier adjustments. Right now, we're not being charged for them. But if you find that the weight that they say that there's an adjustment, what we've been doing is when you do your shipping scan picture, I've been taking it on the scale. So I have proof of the box sitting on the scale and what the weight is. If you see that you get a carrier adjustment, I had 2 that were 4 pounds. They told me they were 20 pounds. Right now, all you can do is message Whatnot. Basically, Whatnot wouldn't change it for me, but I've at least established the communication that this is incorrect. Eventually, there's going to be a way to dispute those. So you have to stay on top of it. I highly suggest, it's another administrative task, but we need to just be looking at that. And if you have proof, which is your picture on that scale, then you could fight it whenever it does become something that's charged to us. I know
And-
Southern Charm gave me that idea. Daisy Lane was talking about got a different scale where she's trying to do that now too.
And I think Sodi is the one who started the whole thing.
Zodi might have been the one to start all of it. I think she's been doing it before all of us were doing it. So, and honestly, when I got that 20-pound adjustment, that was the only proof I had. Was like, no, here's the box on the scale that shows it's 4 pounds, 12 ounces, or whatever it was. So, but with that, you guys, I do have to get to my 9 to 5 since I've been sick for 2 days and missed it. I got a ton to catch up on. So we are going to go rate somebody. Tomorrow we are talking business. We're doing our business topic, 7 a.m., how to increase your live sales, how to increase the amount of money you're getting. That's going to be our topic tomorrow. Thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Who is on? Who are we going to go raid today? Go see TBC. I love me some TBC.
Have a wonderful day. Whoops. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Jen.
Thank you.